Pasco County works hard to maintain the best water quality. This is just one way we get to that point. To learn more about this and other Pasco County utilities information, please visit our website at mypasco.net.
How'd you find this spot?
Riding around.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For sale by owner. No relatives. They call it down motor. He's one of the original purchases of it.
Do you have county sewer and water?
Septic and
Septic.
Harold, where do you live in the county?
Pardon?
Where do you live?
Blanton.
All righty.
Certain things go on, go listen.
Good afternoon. I gotta find my script here. I probably should have had that before we started. It is 1:30, and I believe we have a 1:30 time certain.
Yes, ma'am, we do.
Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let's
Do you want
go.
Animal Services to come to the podium?
Animal Services, please come to the podium.
Yeah.
Resolution number 22038, a resolution by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, recognizing Pasco County Animal Services for receiving the 2021 National Emergency Care and Control Association Outstanding Agency of the Year Award. Whereas the National Animal Care and Control Association is committed to setting standards of professionalism and support for the almost 12,000 animal officers nationwide, and each year, recognizes outstanding individuals and organizations throughout the country that have distinguished themselves as leaders in their profession and shown outstanding achievement in their communities in the field of animal care, animal sheltering, and animal control and protection. And whereas the association has awarded Pasco County Animal Services the 2021 Outstanding Agency of the Year Award for remarkably maintaining an animal save rate above 90% while helping the most vulnerable pets in Pasco County, including sick, injured, ill, aggressive, abandoned animals, and its strong commitment to premier service to the citizens and pets of Pasco County. And whereas Pasco County Animal Services became a Tier 1 shelter with the National Human Animal Support Services Program, creating community-based shelter programs, and adjusted its efforts from the traditional shelter method to a method more focused on keeping pets with their owners and providing resources not usually seen at the municipal animal sheltering level. And whereas Pasco County Animal Services has shown industry-leading progress and accomplishments in all areas of their organization, including field services, veterinary service, educational outreach, shelter services, community partnerships, and special programs, helping thousands of Pasco County citizens and pets. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Pasco County, Florida, that said board hereby commends Pasco County Animal Services for their dedication, service excellence, and for receiving the National Animal Care and Control Association 2021 Outstanding Agency of the Year Award. Done and resolved in regular session with a quorum present and voting this 25th day of January, 2022.
Move for approval.
Second.
And all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Nobody. Congratulations.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Mike, great to see you. Great to see you and the team. Now, there are dogs and cats running wild all over Pasco County now since you're all here.
Two-thirds of the team.
I'm just teasing with you. I'm teasing. But again, congratulations to you and your team. It's well-deserved. It's a well-deserved honor. You do so much, not only for the citizens of Pasco County, but obviously the animals of Pasco County too. And as someone that you know of that has adopted dogs in the past, specifically medically needy dogs, Scrappy Doo and Joey Trooper. They're internet stars now, but some of you know this. We've adopted a couple dogs that one was at your facility, and they went off to another rescue that was taking care of the medically needy animals, and both of them have 3 legs, and they're doing awesome. But we appreciate, again, everything you do for the county. And I know when I came here in 2014, you were here, we were working through some things, and wow, it's again, I've said it before, it's amazing what you all have done, it's amazing what you accomplished. I know a lot of us have been to your facility, and it's beautiful there. I mean, it really is. It's because of each and every one of you, and so keep doing what you're doing, and we appreciate you. You know, and you and Commissioner Oakley are kind of looking alike today with these beards.
Well, he's the one I know.
I thought, when I looked in the audience, I thought he was sitting out there.
That works. But Mike, y'all have done a great job. I know when I came on board, right after Mike had come on board, but back then was a lot of different areas that working on, and it's night and day from what it was then. So we seldom hear anybody coming out explaining something wrong about the animal services. It's all changed to the better. So. And it's great, and y'all have done a great job. I actually had a commissioner from Citrus County come down to look at what you did and go through the tour there to understand how they could do better at Citrus County for animal services. So it's a great example for a lot of people. I thank you and all the staff for what they do.
Commissioner Mariano.
Yeah, and Mike, I'd like to say back from 2014 and beyond, it's been amazing how you've transformed. Your passion has led to with just such a great team of people that just take care of our animals, and most importantly, the people that own them or become owners. It's just amazing the turnaround you've put in the organization. So it's definitely premier, and we thank you for that.
Oh, absolutely, thank you. Yeah, we're very grateful for the support we've had from the board throughout the years. I mean, it's been amazing. Not only that, but from our fellow staff members here at the county, our team members. Dan's been great. The budget team's been great to help us out where we needed things. We've got a great cast of assistant county administrators that support us at all levels, which is really great. And then this team behind me is really what made this change. Their compassion. You recognized one of them this morning, Dr. Glenn. And that's what makes the difference for us. We've been able to go from traditional sheltering to more community-based programs. We're reaching out to try to find more ways to help the community with their pets so they can keep their pets. We've got programs and grants now coming from national organizations, which are great. And I think us participating in a national movement with the Human Animal Support Services Network has really helped us as well. So we're getting a lot of data. They're using our data. We're mentoring other shelters throughout the country. It's just kind of amazing what all we can accomplish now. And who would have thought where we were a few years ago?
That's right.
I'm sure Pat Mallory would be proud of us right now. But it's just been an amazing journey, and again, I can't say enough about this team behind me. They do an amazing job every day. So thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Congratulations.
much. Congratulations.
Oh, so we're going to do that. I'll go down, then we're going to line up?
Yeah, line up.
Yeah, 'cause there's
put
still a lot of
them in
people.
front.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
are we going down or are we going to stay up back here?
I'll just bring
I
this
think we'll
down
stand
and
up back
stay
here.
back here. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay back here.
Oh, no, this is the show mic. Oh.
And you guys come on up here, we'll take a photo.
I'll bring this down that way.
I see they're wearing masks.
So this is today's Scrappy Doo's Gotcha Day. Look, there's Scrappy Doo. You like that?
When the animal control moved into an old abandoned barn out there on Lake Patience Road.
Yeah. Where they're at, they've changed that a lot. We've redone a bunch of stuff.
So we're gonna have to get you guys in the photo, so.
Okay.
So
There you go.
somebody, you gotta, like, you have to look at, you guys gotta get up there. Direction, here, now, do this, you swing back, watch, here we go.
She's hiding.
Well, let her come to the side.
Here, doctor.
She's still hiding.
No, she's still hiding. Yeah, let her to the side.
She's straight.
Ready?
Okay, folks, right here, please.
Thank you. Congratulations. Good job, everybody.
Sorry, I stepped on you.
Thank you, you guys are awesome. Well done. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mike.
Okay, let's see, we are, so R63 is going to go a little bit later, correct? So we're going to go to proposed ordinances. And the first one we'll be on is P64.
Madam Chairman and members of the board, we have proof of publication of the hearing of this item in the Tampa Bay Times on December 22nd, 2021.
Madam Chair, Commissioners, Denise Hernandez, Planning and Development. Item P64 is PDD 220168, and this is the transmittal for this item. So we're going to ask you that you hold a public hearing, accept public comment, and authorize transmittal to the Department of Economic Opportunity and other reviewing agencies.
P64 is the expansion of the moratorium area, is it not?
It's not a transmittal of the expansion of the
No, this
moratorium
would,
area?
no, this would be the
Okay, it's
first of its two hearings before the board as a land development code amendment,
Okay.
or
All right, I
land
thought
use
that's what the
regulation.
action stated, transmittal. Okay. So cross that, accepting public comment. It's first of two hearings. The second hearing is on February 8th, 2022 at 1:30 in Dade City. The item was presented to the local planning agency on 1/6/22, who found it consistent with a comprehensive plan and recommended approval to the board. It's an ordinance by the Pasco County Board of County Commissioners amending ordinance number 21-08 to expand the moratorium area, providing for authority, legislative findings of fact, moratorium area, temporary moratorium imposed, and severability, PDD 220168. So it's no action by the board required today, if you want to accept public comment on the item.
All right, would anybody like to speak to this item? All right, seeing no one, we'll move on. We're now going to go to the consent agenda. And we have P65.
Madam Chairman, would you like rezoning procedures
I would.
announced?
Thank you.
There are two rezoning agendas, regular and consent. Staff will present each application to the Board of County Commissioners. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended approval and there is no opposition, the application will be considered by the board without further presentation. If staff or Planning Commission has recommended denial, or if there is opposition to the application, the applicant will be given 5 minutes for presentation. The opposition will be given 3 minutes for each individual, or 5 minutes for a group representative, and the applicant will be given 3 minutes for rebuttal. Any individual disagreeing with staff or Planning Commission recommendation, or anyone wishing to object to any condition of the rezoning, may at this time request the petition be pulled from the consent agenda, in which case that application will be heard under the regular agenda later on during the meeting. Otherwise, all rezoning applications on the consent agenda will be approved by a single motion and vote. If you wish to speak to any petition, please give your name and address and whether or not you've been sworn for the record. These are quasi-judicial public hearings. The law in Florida is mere public support or opposition of an application is insufficient for this board to take action. Please limit your comments to those criteria found within the board's land development code.
Okay.
Mr. Clerk, would you swear them in?
Anyone wishing to speak to the items that are being presented under the matters to be heard at this hour, if you would please stand.
And also, those online, we'll swear them in now as well.
And do we have any, yes, we do. Okay.
No one online?
No one online, John? No, okay. If you would please raise your hand. Do you swear that or affirm that the testimony that you will give in this matter is truth, so help you God? Thank you. Madam Chairman, we have proof of publication of these two items on two different dates. P65 was published in the Tampa Bay Times November 24th of 21. And as it relates to P66, this matter was continued from January 11th, where it did have public notice in November of 2021.
Okay, thank you very much. P65.
Good afternoon, Amy Heiler with Long Range Planning. P65 is going to be a large-scale comprehensive plan amendment. It's the transmittal hearing for CPAL 2016, sorry, I thought it was 2016 Newport Corners. The proposal is to amend the future land use element and map amendment to the future land use subarea map 2-925, located on the north and south of Decubulus Drive, north of Plath Road, along the Little Road corridor, sorry. And the resolution to that is to amend the FLU maps 2-925 and amend Appendix FLU. So what this is a Newport Corners future land use amendment. This is not a map amendment. It is an existing future land use that is set in place, and we are proposing a text amendment to make some modifications to the originally entitled land uses. There is an MPUD accompanying this as well that you will hear in the next couple months. The proposed amendment is consistent with the following policies of the comprehensive plan. As you can see, it is located in the Central and Spring District of the West Market area. The aerial, as you can see,
Madam
it is...
Chairman, Amy, this is on consent. Is it being
It is on
pulled?
consent. I was going through this because I did have an edit as well, so it's up to you if I could proceed or not. What is
I
that?
think we have, do we have anyone who's signed up to speak to?
Not to
Newport
speak to
Cones?
this item, no. Not to P65.
Is it, and no one's online to speak to P65?
We have no one online, correct, John?
Board members, do you want to hear the presentation?
No, leave on consent, it's a consent item.
Just a minute.
Leave it on consent, as long as you get the information in that you wanted in there.
Okay, you want to let us know what the edit
Yeah,
is, please?
so there was an edit that was just added to, or just distributed. The edit is increasing the entitlements for 50,000 non-residential uses. We've been in negotiations on the MPUD with the applicants to include flex space uses within the Northeast Village, as well as additional non-residential uses within that area. So what we're doing is just amending the text to include that to align with what was agreed upon on the MPUD conditions, so they match.
All right, just to be sure, is there anyone in the room here who would like to speak in opposition to this item? Okay, board members, we'll keep it on consent.
Thank you.
All right, P66.
As it relates to P66, we have one person listed who is, I believe, the applicant, and that's the only person listed for this item.
Okay.
So P66 is PDD 227580. It's a zoning amendment. James David Russell. It's a change in zoning from a C3 commercial light manufacturing district with specific use and R4 high-density residential district to an AR agricultural residential district. Comes to you with a recommendation of approval from the Planning and Development Department and the Planning Commission.
Is there anyone in the room that would like to speak in opposition to this item? Okay, seeing no one, it's on consent. I'll accept questions.
So move.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, none opposed. So we will go on to the next item, P67.
Madam Chairman and members of the board, you have proof of publication of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, December 26th, 2021, and January 2nd, 2022.
Good afternoon, Joanne Ravita, Real Property and Planning. The Real Property team has received a petition to vacate a portion of a platted right-of-way filed by 2911 Trinity Lakes LLC and Odessa Storage LLC. The petitioner has requested the vacation to permit redevelopment of the site. There were no objections to this petition, and the team recommends approval.
And we have no one signed to speak to the matter in the audience.
Okay. And our planning department has seen this?
They're part of the review process, ma'am.
Okay, just we're doing an overlay in that area? We're
Yeah,
working on that area? Okay. It's my district. I'll entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
If
Wait.
you'll call for public
Does anyone
comment.
want to speak to this vacation in opposition?
You know, move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. P68.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, we have proof of publication previously for this item as it has been continued from the October 26th, 2021 meeting and December 7th, 2021 meeting to this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commission members. Jessica Coa with Planning and Development. Item P68 is item PDD 227526 in the name of Daryl and Karen Renner for the requested change in zoning from AC Agricultural District and AR1 Agricultural Residential District to an MPUD Master Planned Unit Development District to allow for 108 single-family detached units on approximately 50.15 acres. As this item has been heard before by this commission, I will jump forward to the changes that have occurred since the December 7th hearing. Since December 7th, staff and the applicant have been in discussions about the proposed exhibits. Staff proposes revisions to add Exhibit B to Condition 16 and some text changes to Condition 16, 17, and 18. I would like to ask to receive and file these conditions as changed and provide copies for the commission members.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None? Thank you.
Thank you.
So as you can see, as the the changes provided, staff has agreed to allow the applicant to enter into a development agreement within 60 days of the approval of this MPUD to address mobility fee credits, right-of-way dedication requirements, permitting and timing of construction of the substandard road improvements identified in Condition 16. The other changes also identify adding language to condition number 17, or I'm sorry, to condition number 18, that would allow for 66 units to receive certificate of occupancy before the completion of the roadway improvements. When the application was submitted, Land Development Code Section 901.4C, so standard roadway analysis and mitigation exemptions, allowed for an exemption in substandard roadway analysis and mitigation if the project generated less than 100 daily trips. In December, the board approved an amendment to this section of the Land Development Code that increased that threshold to less than 500 daily trips. With this code change, staff can support the 66 units prior to roadway improvements being completed. Thus, this proposed request, as conditioned with the revisions given to you today, is consistent with the Pasco County Land Development Code and the applicable provisions within the Pasco County Comprehensive Plan. Again, here is a master plan unit development master plan for the MPUD. And this does come to you with the recommendation from staff and Planning Commission for approval as conditioned in your packet with those revised conditions 16 through 18 presented today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We do have one speaker signed up.
Well, I think we have the applicant, so.
Thank you. Shelley Johnson, 6400 Madison Street, and I have been sworn. We are in agreement with the revised conditions that have been handed out to y'all. We appreciate all the work because we've done this pretty quickly in 30 days. So, and I know everybody's really busy, so we're good, but we're here to answer any questions if y'all have any. So.
Well, I have one. Did we change our language? We're good? Okay, yeah, we're good. Sounds like we're good. All right, let's go to the applicant speaker who signed up. Public comment.
Public comment.
Looks like Ray's walking this way.
Ray Gadd.
Okay.
Would you acknowledge that you were previously sworn?
I was previously sworn, Ray Gadd, 6504, Wisteria Loop, Land O'Lakes, Florida. As always, I'm here in a personal capacity, not my professional capacity. Thank you for your time. As I had indicated earlier when we started this adventure, I'm not opposed to development, and I'm not going to oppose, I think, staff recommendations today. I have a couple of questions, though. One is regarding the 66 COs. I would like to think that after they got to 66 COs, that no more permits would be issued because a permit is permission. So I'm wondering what happens after the 66 COs, because then if they issue permits, that is a little bit confusing to me. Second thing, there is an actual alignment on the Vision Road map, and I would like that alignment to be followed. So two items. What happens after the 66 COs? Because if you issue them permits, that's a problem. And then number two, do we have some reasonable expectation that the actual existing Vision Road alignment that's on the Vision map today will be followed? Thank you.
We'll have staff maybe answer those questions. Thank you. Who is the, well, does anyone else want to speak? Why don't we get all the speakers and then we'll answer the questions? Is someone coming to speak? Okay, good.
Commissioner, my name's Jeremy Couch, 6624 Wisteria Loop. I have not been sworn.
Yes. Do you swear that or affirm that the testimony you are about to give in this matter is the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you.
So I'm a concerned property owner on the street as well. I'm not opposed to development, but I would like them to follow the Vision Road alignment that's shown in the Clark MPUD, which Wisteria Loop is unique. There's a lot of homes that are estate homes on the lake. There's a lot of really nice mature trees along the road. Is very quaint. The alignment goes right through a pasture. It's going to be easy for them to build. They're not going to have conflicts with citizens. It's going to be real smooth if they go through that pasture, and that will kind of keep the character of Wisteria intact. And so I support it as long as they follow that alignment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
I believe we have another speaker.
Is there anyone else after Mr. Naco that would like to speak? All right, this will be our last speaker. Morning.
Morning,
Good
Chair.
afternoon. No,
Yeah.
good afternoon.
It's morning somewhere in the world. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Chris Naco, 7842 Land O'Lakes Boulevard. I've been sworn in, and I am here as a private citizen. Just to follow up with some of the things, anybody here in Pasco County knows that Ridge Road was the longest project ever to have to get approved. Our fear is the same thing here. We do not want a project where it's being promised that a vision road will be put in, but permits are delayed, things happen, and we understand from a corporate standpoint, they just want to move forward to the next project. So I just asked a couple things. One is, and I don't know what the answer, what Mr. Gadd had received, but after those 66 houses, the COs have to put in, but no more permits after that until the road is built. Because the road will never be built if you allow all the houses to go up, and then there'll be a reason that, it's good, the permits weren't in for the road. That's the fear for those people that live in that community. The other aspect is, with those houses there, the impact to the entire community. So I'm all for smart growth. I think everybody is. The fact that growth is coming, but make sure that road stays the way it was promised and it was aligned. It doesn't get realigned because of permitting. And the houses, there has to be something that the builder, there's an enticement that they have to stay engaged, have to be part of this project, and not come back to you 2 years from now and said, we did everything we could to improve this road, but we're not getting the permit, so we're gonna just fix the road that's there now. Because if you can't fix the road that's there now with the amount of growth, because as I spoke about before, it's not just about this project that this community is concerned about, it's about all the further projects that are going on. So if we're talking about smart growth, we have to realize this is only one of the only roads that will cross over the path of train tracks. CSX is not easy to get roads through over their lines. So we better be smart and do it right this time, because if we're not, this is going to be a disaster for this Land O'Lakes area for numerous years to come. Thank you very much.
Okay, is there anyone online that wanted to speak to this issue, this item?
Just confirming with staff, but I do not believe we have anyone, correct, to speak to this issue, John?
We have somebody from staff that can answer questions.
No, he means online. Nobody's online.
Waiting to speak?
Yeah, no
Well, we're going to have staff come up and let them answer those questions. Is that okay? All right, so who from staff will answer about the road alignment, please? And the Vision Road, and how that alignment happens? And
So Esan Khalil should be on. If you would unmute him, he can provide the answers.
Good afternoon, Commission. This is Asan Khalil with Current Planning. We answered Mr. Gadd's first question about the 66 units. We are approving this project to go up to 66 certificates of occupancy. And we are conditioning them that those improvements have to be completed prior to any further development.
after the 66?
Correct.
Sorry.
Before you issue the 67th or any more COs, you have to get those improvements completed.
Okay.
The applicant is also, I just want to let the board know, the applicant is providing for bonding of all these improvements for the vision alignment. And there is a time period also, I believe staff can clarify that, Jessica can. It's a 24-month period that we requested that these improvements be completed concerning the vision alignment. On the other question that Mr. Gadd brought up and Mr. Couch brought up, the alignment to stay as whatever is shown on the vision map. I just want to clarify one thing. The alignment shown on the vision map is not really studied. It's not the ultimate alignment that may happen. When we do these types of roadways and alignments, there are studies done. And since this alignment is showing cutting through a major wetland, we would attempt to avoid the wetland as much as possible, or at least the impact should be minimized. There is a drawing provided by the applicant, and Jessica can share that on the big screen. That shows how the future alignment would happen. If Jessica could bring that up, please.
While she's getting that ready, I see the applicant for the Clark property is here. I mean, the attorney representing the Clark property. Part of what needs to happen to make this road happen is that that land needs to be dedicated to the county. Is that correct? So that's going to happen quickly?
The Clark MPUD, this is Asan Khalil again. Clark MPUD shows an area of dedication, or right-of-way dedication for this future vision road. Based on the final alignment, the design, when it's done, I believe Clark is willing and ready to dedicate that right-of-way to us at our request.
Jessica Coel again with Planning and Development. The alignment shown on the Clark MPUD is slightly different than what is shown here with the proposal that is Renner is proposing. As my colleague, Mr. Khalil said, the alignment is not studied. That would seek to avoid wetland impacts as much as possible through the various permitting agencies. Again, the Clark MPUD did agree to dedicate right-of-way and necessary stormwater area for the improvements necessary for that right-of-way. There is some timing in the Clark MPUD that states that they have to do it at time of plat or within 90 days of the county's request.
Great.
But Mr. Khalil is correct. The county was working and agreeing to a 24-month period that would be discussed in the development agreement that would be later presented and seeking approval.
Okay.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Question.
Yeah, don't leave. So don't leave.
You mentioned there was a bond that was going to be issued. When does that bond get issued to build the road?
Bonding for subdivisions usually occurs when it is submitted for platting with our survey department. If any outstanding improvements are not completed, it is bonded.
Okay. Do they apply to build the road or to get the road permitted immediately, or do they wait?
Do you mean the specific project?
The Vision Road, are they applying to get it approved right away, or are they waiting?
The applicant, it's my understanding, I'd rather them speak to it, but they have no intentions upon delaying the process any further for development of this site. They would seek to get the improvements approved through the various agencies as expeditiously as possible, and also enter into the development agreement to protect what the county wants as far as that roadway is concerned.
Okay. And I think the minimization of wetland impacts is just something that's going to happen through the process anyway. So we can follow the road as close as we want, but if the agencies say you've got to avoid it if you can, we're going to be subject to that.
There are external agencies that could say that during the review process that we would want to at least
Okay.
engage with.
The other thing, the issuing of COs, and you can't issue it after 66, I'm comfortable with that language. If you go to the fact that they can't do anything after that with any permitting, you're going to slow down the development, which is also the cash that's going to bring in to help them pay for the thing. So I don't want to necessarily tie their permits up, but I'm okay with keeping the
COs that are
COs.
important, yeah.
The COs is going to drive the trips on it. The permitting is just going to slow down development and the financial viability of getting it all through together, which we want to see happen.
And that is an important clarifying point, so thank you for bringing that up. The permit issuance would be different than the issuance of the certificates of occupancy that would add vehicular trips to the roadway network.
Okay.
Commissioner Fitzpatrick?
Okay, yes, I had made recommendations at the last meeting about the alignment of the road, but the alignment of the road on here looks exactly the same as it did last time.
Correct, and again, this is mostly conceptual because we do not know what the actual permitting agencies will require in order to avoid those wetland impacts when it is reviewed by those agencies. We do try to, when the county does these, do a PD&E study to try and avoid as many impacts, not just to wetlands, but adjacent areas that we might need to acquire right away from with private entities or private owners. So it is something that is ideally trying to skirt the wetland because they assume that that will be one of the comments that is generated through the review of this Vision Road. However, we can't determine until the construction plans are actually in for review the exact alignment necessary for this road.
But it is the intent of the Vision Road to go as northward as possible without impacting that Class A wetland.
I can't speak to that
Pretty sure that's what the
specifically.
intent is.
I believe that that would be determined by the agencies reviewing that, but.
And I did speak with the applicant, and they said they were working with staff. So when they were saying that, I was under the impression that they were actually changing the alignment of the road, and Section C is still completely on Wisteria, and I thought they were going to go around and change the alignment of the road altogether.
So I'm not sure if the applicant's transportation engineer would like to speak to that. I know there were some safety concerns about the curvature of the road and doing it too drastically to not, like, to prevent safety issues from occurring with the realignment. However, I do feel that staff has reviewed as much as we can conceptually without locking them into something that another agency might say that is not feasible when it comes to the actual permitting and construction of the roadway.
With the alignment not being updated at all, I am a little concerned because it still has it going over the wetlands, and I always do try to find resolutions to the concerns on every project, and I would like to request a continuance on this project for 30 days. Because this is not what I was discussed with the applicant.
I mean, it's not exactly the Vision Road, but it's pretty reasonably in compliance with the Vision Road alignment as is.
This looks exactly the same as the last time it was brought to us last month.
Correct. I think they made the adjustments. I will say that what you're talking about, Commissioner, are design details once we get surveying, wetland field data, and all the other design details that the engineering team will need to make final alignment decisions prior to submitting for permits. So, I mean, you're talking about engineering design and the actual alignment of the road. The vision is, with every one of our Vision Roads, where they go flexes based on what we find when we do the PD&E study ourselves or when a developer does it. So at the conceptual level, this is what it is. As they go get and do their design work, which they have not done yet, they will dial in specifically where that road needs to be in compliance with the vision as best they can, and the other regulatory agencies.
Then it will be adjusted to move as north as possible?
That is the goal.
We can't go too far north because you have another development over
Balancing
there.
act there between the wetland impacts, the curvature of the road, the design speed of the road, the impact of the existing network, all that has to go into that's why we have a civil engineering design team that's going to work on that for the applicant to solve those problems.
To me, this looks the same, and I'm not comfortable with that.
No, it's different than the last one.
I will say
Well,
that
Madam Chair, before you
No, go
go,
ahead.
well, just to the Commissioner's point, show the current alignment. If you're saying it's different, show the current alignment and show the alignment that we showed in the last meeting. Let's compare them.
when you say current alignment, do you mean the Vision Road as in Pasco mapper as it's shown today?
I'm just going by what the Commissioner just made a statement that it's not, that it's,
Section C looks exactly the same as what it was before.
but you're saying it's different, so show us the difference.
Yes, thank you.
I'm
Well,
sorry if I misled you, the exhibit is the same as what you saw. The information presented during the back and forth with the applicant, we can't hold them into a specific alignment with what Mr. Biles identified as the details of engineering. So just to clarify, sections A and C are the substandard roadway improvements, and those are considered to be the areas of the road that are existing that just need substandard roadway improvements. Section B is actually identified as the realignment portion. So I'm not certain if it's feasible for them to adjust Section C as far as an alignment is concerned, especially trying to maintain the safety of the curvature of segment B.
Didn't you show us a map before that had section B going into that wetland? Or somewhere I saw a section B going through the wetland.
It is going through the wetlands
No,
right
no.
now.
It's, I mean, the middle part of that wetland. There was another B that was shown to me somewhere along the line that would have required a bridge.
Yeah, where's the pasture that was talked about during testimony a second ago? Can somebody show us the pasture? Since we're in road talk.
We'll pull that up for you on Pasco Mapper.
Hey, Madam Chair.
Yeah.
A question for you.
Yep.
We don't seem to be ready for prime time right now. Should we go to 69 and then bring this back until they're ready to?
How long until you're ready for what we need?
She's pulling up the exhibit from Pasco Mapper right now that shows the conceptual alignment that was perceived to be appropriate before a PD&E study is actually done. So if you can go like a little further west and zoom in. You're right there, just zoom in a little bit, please. A little further east. So you can see Bexley Road that comes over the train tracks there. And if you zoom in on the wetlands, it does go a little bit further north than the existing proposed alignment in segment B. But the curvature of the road is a little bit more fluid with the exhibit shown.
I think you're on the wrong side of the track.
I don't know. Show the vision road.
Right? Is that the train tracks to the right there? There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, my God. I feel like I'm on a roller coaster ride looking at this. I'm going to take a draw on me.
All right, there you go.
So you can see to the west of the lake, you have the wetlands, right, Wisteria Loop kind of ends, and then the Vision Road is black, and it comes through the bottom of the wetlands.
Can you follow it with your, you might need to go to the, control the,
The black dotted line is the Vision
Where?
Road? Okay.
Yes.
So it's exactly the same.
It's a little closer to the wetland in that
there you
lineup.
go.
The big wetland, yeah.
There you go.
So section B would actually start further north on Wisteria. Or
Yes.
Oh, and that's the pasture.
Here. So this
Yeah.
is the section we're worried about right here.
When the so when this alignment is actually studied, does it come back to us, or how does that work?
Do you want us to bring the engineering design to you? I mean, normally it doesn't.
Yes.
It goes into current planning and is part of the review process.
I think it is the wish of this board to have that road go as far north as we can within reasonable costs that have been determined, right? The cost shares are out there, so,
Madam
Yeah.
Chair, I would feel more comfortable voting if I knew the road.
Development agreement back to you, that is a board approval document. So
Okay.
we can have the development agreement set in more specific alignment, because I'm assuming by then they will have gone through a little more design.
that makes sense. Right now, it's just, everyone's just guessing.
So we can make sure the development agreement has a more specific alignment.
All right, that work for everybody?
Well, Madam Chair.
I would be more comfortable voting on this if I,
No one has seconded it.
I just a question, Madam Chair. To Mr. Goldstein's statement, bringing back the development agreement, and you're talking about that, which would include the road alignment. So if for some reason this board says they don't like the alignment, what would that actually end up doing, a positive or negative impact on the project?
The board could direct it be a different alignment.
I'm sorry, what?
The board could direct that it be a different alignment, but you would have already approved the rezoning.
Well, that's what I'm asking. So that's my point. So now you have a situation where you've got, you have two sides of the coin in this one. So you have one side where there are concerns, obviously, of the citizens in the neighborhood, and then you have an applicant they're being told they can build 66 homes. If we don't like the alignment, what happens then?
Well, you could direct a different alignment.
But we can direct a different alignment, but what if that alignment isn't approved is Army Corps involved in this, since there's a wetland? Or is it just Swift Mud?
DEP, Army
DP,
Corps.
that's a question we can't answer right now.
So I think that's a good suggestion that David has brought up.
I understand the suggestion, but at the same time, we still don't know.
We won't until someone goes into it, and they can't go into it if they don't have the agreement. So that's the only way to start studying where the alignment is. That's the process.
Madam
We
Chair.
still have another say in the
I understand the
process.
process, but I guess, again, my question
We'll
is.
be right back here.
Madam Chair,
I mean, they'll never move forward.
with this being in my district, I would like the extension, the 1-month extension, so I can meet with the applicant and the citizens directly to address their concerns.
Motion dies for lack of second.
No, I didn't know. I'm not,
Okay.
I would like to make a motion for a continuance.
I'll second it if you're having some issues still. I mean, that's.
All right, we're going to let the applicant come up and address.
Michael Dady, KB Homes, I have been sworn. We're out of contract time. We've been continued a number of times. It's been 2 years of process. I respectfully ask for an up and down vote. Commissioner Fitzpatrick, we will work hard with staff to make the alignment the best possible alignment. But you have a 404 wetland. You move it too far north, we're going to have the Sierra Club after us. It's a balancing act that will work with staff. We'll work with the environmental consultants. We'll work with you. I'll meet and show you, but I can't afford another continuance. Time, money, expense. We've been back before the board a couple times, planning and zoning 2 or 3 times. The Vision Road is off our property. It's on the Clark MPD. We're spending $1.6 million additional dollars to build this Vision Road for the community at large. So we respectfully ask that you move us forward. We'll use best engineering practices for the best alignment. Thank you.
I would request a continuance to February 8th, which is 2 weeks. But at least that
No,
gives
you
us time.
can't do that. It's wrong side of the county.
No, it's essential. They can go either
Okay.
side. We can go either side.
All right. I am not in support of continuing, because I think that we have the opportunity to again look at it in even better detail when the development agreement comes back.
Madam
So
Chair?
we'll never have the detail you want if we don't let them move forward. Commissioner Mariano?
I think KB Homes has been great coming forward to actually work with us, to actually build this road. It's not even on the network. They're coming forward at only 66 units is a trigger for them to kind of make sure this happens. But trying to get in the middle of between the environmental permitting part of this whole thing it's nothing we can control. If Swift Mud or DEP, Army Corps says, look, you can't build it here, you gotta build it there, what are we gonna do, not build the road? We need to build the road anyway. And I think we've got the intentions where we can look closely on what's the best way. I trust our staff to come back with something to us. We can look at it, but if the agencies aren't gonna permit it the way it's set right there, and it is just a vision roadmap, so it's close to what's gonna be happening, we hope, but if they push it down, they're gonna push it down. We can then still work with the land that we're gonna need on these, keeping as far away as, once we hit down the bottom of that corner, to keep it inside the pasture as much as we can before it bends back over, but we can't control that. But to hold this thing up, I mean, I think they're bending over backwards for us to make this vision road happen, which we do need in that area. And there's no other way to get the road done. It hasn't been done for the previous MPDs. This is our last shot to get it done.
Yeah,
I don't think we should be building a vision road over wetlands at all.
Deck we've been dealt with, we didn't want to build the Vision Road at all.
Yeah, don't go there.
But we'll do our best to be environmentally sensitive. We're going to move it as far north as we can for the neighborhood, as far south as the environmental agencies make us. Ultimately, I wish we had a PD&E study at the beginning of this process. Thank you.
I'm gonna move approval of staff recommendation.
Well, we have a motion and a second, so we can either have the second remove as second.
Listen, I understand, and I appreciate, could we, I think we're done, we can't have applicant during our debate right now.
Yeah, we're in debate. Well, I do have a motion and a second,
But I
and I
think-
don't know if we have a parliamentarian, but we either have to remove that one
Madam
or
Chair, I
vote
think-
on that
Again, I
one.
think we need to clear the grounds for a second, because we're in the middle of commissioner debate. That's
Did you
our time.
have something to add that was
Can I
relevant?
just ask a clarifying question from the commission members? When, Commissioner Mariano brought up not withholding building permits, I just want to make sure we're clear in the conditions. Are you suggesting that we do not uphold building permits after the 66th, or we do not uphold COs after the 66th?
I think it's COs. I don't
Okay,
think
thank you. I
legally
just
we
wanted
can- yeah.
clarification. Thank you.
But, so the idea is to control the amount of people driving on the road. So without a CO, there won't be anyone living in those houses to drive on the road.
Listen, I understand you guys want to get going. I appreciate it. It's just, but at the same time, the district commissioner has some questions on the road. It's 2 weeks. It's not the end of the world. My second hold is to continue for 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Okay, so we'll call for the vote. All those in favor of continuing for 2 weeks, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay. All right, so let's,
Move approval of staff's recommendation.
Second.
right, and because the same thing's going to happen, you won't know the alignment of the road until they get into the process and start studying it. So there won't be any difference in 2 weeks, so just so everyone's clear on that. But we all understand the intent and what we're working to do here. Yes?
Madam Chairman. So, David, the suggestion about dealing with the alignment in the development agreement when that comes back, does the text, the conditions that have been passed out need to be modified, or would that just occur?
It probably would just occur, we can make sure it happens, but in an abundance of caution, you can add the word alignment in the list of things that will be addressed in the development agreement.
17?
Yes, you could add the word alignment just to be safe.
I'll make the motion
Okay,
adjustment with the.
so the motion is amended to include the alignment.
Second.
Yeah, okay. That really will take care of what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I think you should bring it back in.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Aye.
Okay, so pass 3 to 2.
Would have continued 2 weeks, we could have figured this out, but.
No, it'll be the same thing.
5-0.
The exact same thing. There's nothing else that can be done. All right, we are on
All we could do is bring
P69.
David's stuff. Understand.
We approve the publication of this matter in the Tampa Bay Times, January 2nd, January 12th of this year, and we do have folks signed up.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon. Mike Carballa, Assistant County Administrator for Public Infrastructure. I'm going to bring up Justin Grant, our Public Infrastructure Business Administration Director, to give the presentation. But before I do, I just wanted to acknowledge publicly the hard work that our team in public infrastructure, utilities, our fiscal team, Office of Management and Budget, County Attorney's Office, as well as folks at FGOA have done to bring this item before you. It's been a very, very heavy lift. Mr. Grant will give a presentation. It's about 10 minutes long. A lot of the points that he has to hit on are statutorily required, so I would just ask, if possible, you could just hold your questions until his presentation is over with, and then he'll go through what needs to be done.
All right, thank you. Justin Grant, Director of Public Infrastructure, Fiscal and Business Administration. For you is UT 22-0126, is a public interest and acquisition resolution between Pasco County, Florida, and the Florida Government Utility Authority for the Lyndrick Utility System. There's a number of required actions, but it's important to note that this only requires one vote by the Commission. I'll break these down here. 1, determine if the acquisition of the Lyndrick system from the FGOA is in the public interest. To do that, we must hear public comment and vote on public interest. 2, authorize the use of $24 million in ARPA funds for the purchase and the remaining funds for obligations and transfer expenses. If the board determines it's in the public interest, then 3, approve the acquisition resolution, and 4, approve the transition agreement. For you is a map of FGOA's current and former service areas. As you can see there in the teal color, the Aqua system that the county recently purchased last year is pictured there, and the system being discussed today is highlighted in the southwest corner of Pasco, near City of Newport Richey, in the red box in orange coloring. The Lyndrick system provides potable water services and wastewater services, has a number of different system assets, including 8 potable wells, 1 water treatment plant, and 18 wastewater pump stations, among a number of other assets. Here's at a lower altitude of the Lyndrick system service area. As you can see, there's approximately 3,200 water and 2,700 wastewater accounts. This covers 3.24 square miles, includes communities such as Gulf Harbors, Flormar, Gulf Landings, Green Key Park, Shamrock Heights, and businesses along the east and west side of US 19. Section 125.3401 of Florida statutes requires any county purchasing a water, wastewater, or reuse utility serving the public to hold a public interest hearing to determine if the purchase or sale contract is in the public interest. This considers 10 factors. It's notable for today that only 8 of those factors are applicable to a county purchase. Requirement 1 of the statute calls for the most recent available income and expense statement for the utility. Upon staff review of the most recent FGOA CAFR, it shows a $546,000 increase in net position for the utility in FY 2020. Requirement 2 calls for the most recent available balance sheet of the utility, listing assets and liabilities, and clearly showing the amount of contributions in aiding construction and the accumulated depreciation. Bottom line here, there's $3.9 million in net position on the CAFR as of 2020, and $21.3 million in bond debt principal on the system. Requirement 3 is not applicable to the county in this transaction. Requirement 4 of the statute calls for the physical condition of the utility facilities being purchased or sold. Bottom line here is FGOA has maintained the system to meet DEP standards and kept from adding more debt to keep rates stable since they acquired it in 2010. However, after thorough work from our county staff and engineers, the capital needs identified on the system to bring it to county standards are significant. However, Pasco County did negotiate a subaward funding agreement with DEP and the FGOA for a $3.8 million grant awarded for the Pasco County Lyndrick Area Sewer System and Water Quality Upgrades Project. It's notable that that is already underway. Requirement number 5, the reasonableness of purchase or sales price and terms. As compared to a similar transaction in June of 2020 when Pasco County acquired the Aqua system, it's notable here that, as you can see, there's a larger amount of leverage on the Lyndrick system spread across a fewer number of customers. This results in approximately a $1,500 premium of debt per customer on the Lyndrick system compared to the Aqua system. Requirement 6, the impacts of the purchase sale on utility customers, both positive and negative. A potential drawback could be seen as the increase in number of projects competing for utility capital investment over the coming years and currently. Something neutral would be the regional inclusion and promotes ability to allocate the costs over a large customer base, just as Pasco County Utilities has. Positives could be that Lyndrick customers could see up to a 42% decrease in their monthly bill, and if ARPA funding is approved, this could eliminate the need for new financing at this time. Requirement 7, any additional investment required and the ability and willingness of the county to make that investment. After thorough work from the county and those that evaluated the system, as you can see here below, the 5-year CIP and R&R that would be called for to bring the system to county standards would be approximately $25.8 million, with $10.7 million of that investment being required within the first 12 months. Requirement number 8, the alternatives to purchase or sale and the potential impact on utility customers if the purchase or sale is not made. County staff has identified 2 alternatives to this transaction today. The county can elect not to purchase the system, or the county can defer the purchase to a future year when the Lyndrick debt profiles and financial conditions are more ideal for the county to complete the transaction. Requirement 9, the ability of the purchaser to provide and maintain high quality and cost-effective utility service, whether the purchaser is the county or the entity purchasing the utility from the county. Bottom line is that Pasco County Utilities is financially strong with a track record of regulatory compliance. We maintain a robust renewal, replacement, and capital investment program. The county utility consistently implements and maintains multi-year rate plans, and this illustrates the Board of County Commissioners' commitment to financially stable utility. Requirement 10 is not required for this transaction. In summary, the Lyndrick system is currently meeting regulatory requirements. It has a large outstanding debt and high capital needs. An acquisition will provide significant rate relief to the approximate 3,200 customers in the Lyndrick service area. The county has already secured $3.8 million in FDEP grants for the Lyndrick area sewer and water quality upgrades in the Lyndrick system and has an agreement with FGA to complete those repairs. The county is committed to additional capital investment for upfront improvements and needed R&R. And finally, the utility staff has the technical expertise and experience to effectively transition the Lyndrick system into the county system and provide a high-quality, sustainable water and wastewater service to the Lyndrick system's customers, just as we've done for the Aqua system a short 18 months ago. Action number 2, combined in this vote, would be the acquisition resolution. This would state that the county has the authority to provide water and wastewater service and the right to acquire the Lyndrick system. This states that the county has determined that the purchase of the Lyndrick system is in the public interest, and that the county will exercise its right to purchase the Lyndrick system from FGA in the summer of 2022. And it states that the chairman is authorized to execute the transition agreement and closing documents to complete the purchase process. Third component is the transition agreement. This would be prepared to conform to the terms and conditions of the interlocal agreement, that the purchase price of the utility is equal to the amount of debt on the system and applicable transaction costs. It addresses all the mechanics and details of the transition that we have slated for this summer. This has been complete and reviewed by county and FGA staff, and if approved by the Pasco County BCC, it would be executed by FGA after their public interest hearing, which is currently scheduled for February of 2022, following this hearing. Therefore, recommendations are to accept public comment and determine if the Lyndrick acquisition is in the public interest. 2, to authorize the use of $24 million in ARPA funds to purchase the Lyndrick system and applicable transaction costs. 3, approve the acquisition resolution to acquire the Lyndrick system from FGA. And 4, approve the transition agreement between Pasco County and the FGA.
All right, thank you very much. We can take public comment, or we can discuss things.
I can make a couple of comments.
Okay.
I think you guys have done a phenomenal job bringing this together. We've had water trouble for many, many years in this county because of the way the county grew out. Not anyone's fault, it's just the way it happened. So these private utilities that have been backed by the PSC have driven up rates over and over again. And this utility, even though taken by FGA, still had a lot of work to do that had to be improved, that still drove up rates. Not as bad as they would have been, but bad. So to actually make this move, just like the Aqua system, this is a great move as well, and the more we can keep on doing this type of thing, it benefits all our citizens. So you took a lot of work, it's a heavy lift, and I want to say you did a phenomenal job with it, and I think our state legislators did a great job getting us the extra money, because Commissioner Starkey, you were dynamite up there in Tallahassee working, whoever had to be worked to get it done as well. So I think this has been a tremendous accomplishment for the people that have to live with this water company.
Okay, we do have people signed up for public comment, so I'm going to let them line up and, right? We have
First person signed is Skip George.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Skip Geiger, and I live at 5017 Dory Drive in Gulf Harbors. I'm a 30-year resident of coastal Pasco County and specifically the harbor communities. Over the last 5 years, I have met with each and every one of you commissioners on various issues which pertain to the coastal Pasco County region. None of those issues were as important to the region as the vote you are taking today to complete this action. 12 years ago, residents came to Pasco County to ask that the purchase of the Lyndrick water and sewer system be added to the list of private utilities that the county was considering as they looked to create a countywide utility system that would be made up of small systems. Instead, the residents were handed off to the infamous FGUA, also known by most as Fugwe, and another more non-nefarious names that we won't go into. The harbor region has been plagued with, by your own staff submission, the second highest water and sewer rates in the entire region. We have endured the worst customer service. We have, as a community, had to deal with continual disruption in service to our system due to system failures, low water pressure during peak hours, and when there is a fire in our community, and by the way, there have been 2 in the last year, the community loses water pressure because the wells can't keep up. But the most important thing is the pollution due to the sewage leakage into the canals. 5 times this past summer, our beaches were closed to swimming because of fecal coliform levels were too high to swim in the coastal waters. Our Citizens Water Committee has met with the county staff, and they are ready to fix these problems for us. The time has come. We need each of you commissioners to vote yes today so that we can protect the future of the coastal Pasco County area while providing quality water and sewer support for the more than 3,000 customers at a more reasonable rate. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Skip.
And again, I'm going to apologize in advance. Paris Cernicus.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Thank you for inviting us. I was very pleased to hear Commissioner Mariano have so many accolades for the hard work that was put in by everybody. I'm a relatively new resident of Gulf Harbors. My main complaint was the cost of our water system to maintain it and to pay it on a monthly basis. I am thrilled that this is coming to a head, and hopefully everyone will agree and we can move on to something new. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Paris.
Mitch Kobernick. And if you please give your name and address.
You got it right. Mitch Kobernick, 5001 South Shore. Good afternoon, Commissioners. Yes, I'm here to speak in favor of the acquisition of the FUGWA system into the Pasco County utility system. Ever since FUGWA had taken over the utilities, our neighborhood has been subjected to some of the highest rates in the region, certainly a lot more than what Pasco County citizens have been paying. It would seem to be obvious that every citizen in Pasco County is entitled to pay the same for the same services. They should be getting the same quality of water. They should be getting the same price for their water, but because of the nature of some of these private utilities, in particular FGUA, that has not been the case. Pasco took a huge step by acquiring the Aqua system, a huge step towards resolving this inequity. Now, the Aqua system arguably was in much worse condition than the Lyndrick system. The water was terrible. It was sometimes not even drinkable. So for that reason, I'm okay with letting them go first, but now it's our turn. The time has come to get the Lyndrick system into the Pasco system and have everybody start to pay the same rates, improve the quality of the water. And we've been working on this with the Water Committee for more than a few years, and yes, it's been a heavy lift. But we're here now. We appreciate the opportunity to be able to speak in favor of this, and we certainly hope you can see that it's the right thing to do to equalize the service and the prices for all of Pasco residents. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
That concludes those that have been signed up. I believe we may have one online. No, we don't.
Okay, and we have another one here, and maybe some more, we'll see. Have you,
Barbara Wilhite, 6327, whoops, wait a minute, that's my professional address. Barbara Wilhite, 5020 Oyster Cove, Newport Richey, Florida, 34652, a proud resident of Gulf Harbors. Wow, I've watched this for a really long time. I've been involved in local government for, I guess, 25 years. I started very young. It's taken a lot to get to this point. And the leadership of this board and this staff and administration to put together a plan like that and say, this is how we're going to do it, and to present that to you today for you to approve it is very impressive. To me, critical infrastructure is countywide. That's what you do. You have countywide infrastructure, and we can see when it's not set up that way, all the struggles that you have over time. We struggle with stormwater, because stormwater was given off to every homeowners association. We had to do a stormwater assessment. We did that countywide. Everybody pays the same, no matter where you're at the county, or if I'm saying, look, I'm in my house on 5020 Oyster Cove, and I never have to worry about flooding. I have to worry about water rising, but not flooding, but I pay my stormwater assessment. So if you look at critical infrastructure from a countywide perspective, as your leadership and you all are doing here, this is the solution. The solution to move these issues that have been issues for a very long time forward, and to continue to have an outstanding county utility system that we're all going to be proud to be part of. Thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Okay, it's getting bad.
Ken Dabbs, 4617 Florimar Terrace, Newport Richey. So I live in Gulf Harbors on the Lyndrick system, have for 20 years. And I just want to echo everything my friends have said, because 99.44, if you remember the old commercial, if you're as old as I am, 99.44% of the residents, including people in Magnolia Valley, Aloha Gardens. I mean, I've been collecting information from a lot of people. They're in favor of this. And I just want to thank Mike Carballa and his team. And Commissioner Mariano, you and I, we went round and round about this. Well, we didn't argue.
No,
we were on the same
team.
side on Aqua. And I know Commissioner Starkey's done a lot of work on this. You've done a great job. Just urge you to vote yes. Let's get this done, and let's move on and get Aloha Gardens and Mad Hatter and the rest of these Fuqua systems purchased and on the county system, and do what was it Senator Wilton Simpson said a few years ago about Summer Tree. And I'm going to paraphrase him a little bit. It's outrageous or ridiculous that we have people on one side of the street paying for double what people on the other side of the street are paying for their water. And Wilton Simpson was right, so let's do the right thing today and vote yes. Thank you.
Is there someone else coming up to speak? Okay.
Hi, my name is Anne Marie Williams, 5024 Oyster Cove, Newport Richey. I just wanted to make one comment. I was part of the Water Committee, and not only is Gulf Harbors involved, we did have involvement from a lot of the other neighborhoods, the Woodlands, the Sea Forest neighborhoods, the condos. So I just want you to know that it's not only us that are pushing it. Everybody in that area is looking forward to this.
Thank you. Yeah, and so seeing no one else come up, I'll just say, I have a home in Gulf Harbors, and I have a home in Aristida. One's on county water, and one's on Gulf Harbors, one's on FGUA water, and I used to live with Aloha Water, and it's night and day, the quality of life experience with the water delivery. Frequently, when I'm driving into Gulf Harbors, I'm on the phone still working, and I don't see that sign that says boil water, and we have it all the time. And so I hate to think of what I've done, you know, to me and my family, because I didn't even notice that we had that boil water sign. There's been times when I've had no water, many times. And here's the sad thing, because the rates are so high in there already, the money that FGUA has bonded to go to fix things, they just fix Band-Aids, right? We've had years and years of Band-Aid fixes that fail all the time. And I don't think they can raise the rate, so I don't think it can ever get fixed. So this is the only way, in my opinion, to fix this. You know, a long time ago, I was against it, but I have done my homework. I've talked to commissioners from other counties. Most of them didn't go down this path and go to FGUA, but those that did have systematically worked to get them off, and they do it like this. And we wait. Originally, we were going to do this with a rate increase, but now we have this opportunity to do it with the ARP money, plus the capital improvement money that we were able to get from our friends in Tallahassee. So we're in a very, very fortunate position, in my opinion, that we can take this step today. So I hope we'll see a motion for approval.
Well, with that, I'll say, I'll move for approval of it. Thank all the staff for working this proposal up, and this is the right thing to do for this community. So.
I'll second with more discussion.
Yes.
You know, Mike, again, your team, the residents, not only just with the Lyndrick system, but all over, all the FGUA people want to see these transactions happening. And years ago, when I first came to the county commission, we had the presentations of all the people stuffing with water. It was something we wanted, trying to find a solution. The board at the time did not want to buy out the utilities, which I thought was going to be the ultimate way to go. This was a compromise that they had done. I will tell you, 12 years was too long to be under the FGUA. Yep. It's tough to take it over, as we've seen the way these contracts are set up, but I want to say I salute this board tremendously for having the courage to keep pushing this thing forward. It's going to benefit not only this system today, like it benefited Aqua a year and a half ago, it's going to benefit the next system coming up behind it, because the more we take over, the more we go through this, the more it gets spread out amongst everybody. So those increases are going to get smaller and smaller to what they would have been. And you get immediate quality of life improvements for everybody that gets served by the utility. So I thank this board so much for making this.
And let me explain something. That 3.8, right, that we got from the state, because we don't own it yet, but you know, we're going ahead and fixing, we're lining the pipes so that, because the Gulf Harbors has so much saltwater intrusion, it's sinking the Newport Richey wastewater treatment plant. It's a real problem out there. But the way FGUA works is they have a parent company.
Question.
They have a parent company, and then they have the company here. And so when we give them money to do something, everybody's getting a piece of the pie, and less is going actually into the capital project, because everyone takes their administrative fee at multiple levels, 3 levels of administrative fee on that money. Did you have?
No, just call the vote.
I'll call
Okay.
a question first.
Okay.
Matt,
sorry.
You have to ask,
Yes.
you got a motion and a second.
There was a second, wasn't
Well,
there?
the second,
Yes.
yes, I
Yeah.
second.
Commissioner
Just,
Arthur
just
seconded.
clarification of the motion. The motion is the recommended board action, which is the multi-tiered.
Yes, and one note here, you do have 2 amended pages to the Section 125 report. I'm
Okay.
just reading that in the record, no significant changes, just a roll-in of one of the dead items on the reporting. We spoke with FGUA and we modified that, so that reflects accurately. That's in
Have
your
that
packet.
sitting on
Yes,
our-
ma'am.
Yes.
Go with the seconder.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, then we have to take up
Zero.
R,
You need to take up the
the R1.
R63.
I thought we had another one that we had moved.
R63.
Yeah, I just don't have the number in front of me. I'm busy signing.
R63.
things.
Yeah.
All
So,
right.
sure. R63 is,
Thank you all.
R63 is item UT 220126, is a public interest in acquisition resolution regarding the utility system and transition agreement between Pasco County and Florida Government Utility Authority for the acquisition of the Lyndrick utility system.
Our item, no public comment, correct? Move for approval.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Woo-hoo. That was a long day coming.
Well done.
All right, so we are back to commissioner items, and we are on,
No,
yes?
ma'am, sorry. No, ma'am, you have an addendum, item 95, that's the
Oh, that's
Arcola
right, the
PVAS that y'all continued from the
Yes, it's not on my list.
per meeting.
Okay.
This item was previously advertised when heard on December the 7th and continued to this date.
Madam
Who's
Chair,
speaking on it?
this is the agenda item we heard before. We had some objection to it from some commercial people, and pretty much everybody on this assessment was going to be commercial.
Oh, yes.
It was going to be look at different alternatives. I think everybody's been briefed through staff and all. I'm going to make a motion, we approve the paving assessment, but do it through program maintenance.
Yeah, that's a good
So
resolution.
to not do the PVAS, but that we will do it through program maintenance.
Exactly.
Is this, is this a public hearing?
It was a
It
continuation.
was, but,
Had a public
but you
hearing.
had a complete
I know,
public hearing.
I just don't have to ask if there's anyone who wants to comment on it, that's
You-
all. I'm wondering.
It's an advertised public hearing, so you may want to ask
Okay.
if there's somebody.
Does anyone wish to speak to this item? Well, okay,
We just voted,
sorry.
we just voted in favor
We're going to be in
of it.
favor. Do you want to, but do you still want to speak on it?
You're against it. No, I'm not against it. All right, you might want.
Okay, all right. We're rocking and rolling. Okay, did I have a motion and a second?
Actually, Madam Chair, if I could, I've been instructed here by Ainsley that we have to actually discontinue the PVAS, and then, of course, if that could be just part of the motion, that would.
Motion to discontinue the PVAS.
Second.
So are we voting on the motion to discontinue first?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay,
And then direct us to do the maintenance on it using program maintenance like we do.
you are
arterials
directed
and
to pave it with program maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Does that require a vote? I don't think, I think that requires a vote.
Well,
It's
I think that's
helpful
just
because it's whether or not we use, our program maintenance funds on local roads that serve industrial and collector areas is really a policy decision, because it's more traditionally, local roads have been done via PVAS.
Well, we
And
just
so-
voted on it, so we gave you the
Right,
permission to do it.
so you're giving us the direction,
extra
the ability to
special
go do it with program maintenance dollars, that works for us. But
Okay.
because of the policy discussion in the past, it helps that you give us that. So.
Yeah, as long as you don't need a motion, we're good.
Okay?
Okay.
All right, so we're back to Christina.
You're good.
Of course, we were all busy last week up in Tallahassee, and again, I believe they said, Madam Chair, you will be discussing that, so I'll leave that up to you. And it was an honor to serve on the PEDC last year, and again, I'm excited to see Amazon come in and offer 500 new jobs. Thank you. Commissioner Mariano, or Madam Chair, I'm done.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Mariano.
Thank you. I have a few items. First one I'll start with, we have pictures of Leisure Beach. We had a Leisure Beach cleanup. The residents had started this, and stay on that picture right there for a second. Take a look at that. This was found in the woods, on the edge, right on the edge, right off the roadway, probably 10 feet in, I pulled this stuff out. There's a bottom of a Clorox jug, top of a Clorox jug that has a residue in it like it was used for a funnel. 2 measuring cups. I'm not sure what that other container is.
What is that?
I think when they make meth, they have to measure stuff, so probably something drug-related. And that was right off the street this was found, where homes are right across the street on a canal. So there's homeless camps that are in there, and I want to commend the sheriff's office for going out there actually while we're out there to go kind of get them where they're going to leave the area. But the residents here started up the cleanup on their own. We then found out what this was going on. We actually sent out a dumpster out there. We filled the dumpster up. And initially, we're going to go like 10, 15, 5 or 10 feet in from the edge. picked up a little bit more stuff. We filled up that whole dumpster,
Oh.
plus a couple of trailers going forward. It was a phenomenal group organization out there, all just residents picking up the stuff. And our team was like very prompt getting everything out there as well. So take a look at this, a camp in the background, you see that?
What, is this, are you saying this is Leisure Lane?
Leisure Beach.
Leisure Beach.
It's up in Hudson, across from the
Oh.
Walmart. Really nice boating community.
Oh, yeah.
That's what's going on in the back. And I will say there are several owners that have undeveloped lots in there that there's at least one that has let the trespass warrants agreement lapse and will not sign it again. So I've already
They
talked
won't
to Sally.
sign it?
Sally's going to go full steam ahead. We're going to go study this issue, and everyone that's not, we're going to start coming down and start, enforcing the law. Those are the truck drivers there. So again, the people there were delighted with the help we gave them to take the dump. We waived the fees for them. I think, Dan, that was still under your purview to do. It wasn't a lot, but
For the cleanup?
for the HOA.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of cleanups already authorized every year.
This was just a dumpster that went out there. They're already doing the cleanup already.
Yeah, we handle under the cleanups.
We'll take care of it.
Okay. All right.
So wonderful when you get these neighborhoods cleaned up like that.
Yeah.
It's great.
So I'd like to say that we have the right-of-way on the northern part of this whole thing. The residents did ask to have it mowed. So if we can, Mike, if you could get someone to mow it, that would be great. They'd be thrilled, and they were, again, thrilled with what we did for them. That's all the parcels right there that are out there. And I want the board to remember, this was a few years ago with Terry Pitos and Company. Our staff went out there and actually helped this whole property, if it wants to redevelop. So hopefully some good things will happen, but we want to get rid of those homeless camps. I'm going to work closely with staff, service office coming forward, now that we've established that it's got to happen. The next ones, I think, have pictures of Beacon Woods Drive. Actually, let me just talk on that one real quick. This is Wedgewood condo where my dad lives. I noticed that Waste Connections is there, and you see a couple of recycle containers. When we passed the ordinance a little while ago, all a condo association has to do is ask for recycle containers, and the people coming in will do that. I think it's about, I'm going to say the numbers wrong, so let's say 30 or 40% of the waste comes from condos and commercial. Only 10% of the recycling comes from there. So with the ordinance we passed will help, but I just want to kind of let everybody know, as you talk to an association, if you don't see that they have recycling containers, then they should go ask for it and to get our numbers up to improve our cost. All right, these are pictures of Beacon Woods Drive. This is where we have the Walmart entrance into Beacon Woods, where we have all sorts of homeless that'll sit on the edge, and you'll see some of the trash they leave behind that gets into the waterway. And you've heard people from Leisure Beach say, they see syringes, they see fecal coming down their canals going forward that we want to kind of eliminate. There's a company that just started doing some clearing out, and if you try to imagine dealing with a big corporate at Walmart, who they have to go through, there's like 3 tiers before you get to the workers. I noticed they were working out there on Sunday. I said, look, how can we get you to clean up as much as possible and even do more than what might even be there? So we're going to work with Walmart right now. SwiftMud, there's a SwiftMud sign, has restricted what they can do, but I want to get with SwiftMud, work with them, work with Walmart to get as much as we can cleaned out right now. At the present time, they want to do a little bit more work, because the sooner we take away the vegetation that's out there, you see the trash that's right there on that picture? That's up and down. A few more slides you'll see as well. It'll minimize. There's even trash they collected. It's probably from a neighbor in Beacon Woods that would actually want to probably put that together there. There's a backpack from a guy that you'll see a probably picture of. It's probably out here.
Yeah.
The right-of-way use permit that we have coming up is going to take care of that situation. But you take away the vegetation where they can hide and live under the canal, under those things, it's going to definitely help this neighborhood. People in Beacon Woods are
Commissioner?
thrilled. Yes.
Would they go back a slide? You look at all the, we had this issue too, around 56, and I call it FDOT. Look at all the cigarette butts.
Oh, God, yes, that's on 54, too.
In that area.
54 in Littles.
So, you can, or I can. Anyways, if you reach out to FDOT and let them know that, or somebody wants to, because FDOT will clean that, just so you know, they will. I don't know when, but that's nasty.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, we should do, especially on the Gulf, or anyway, we got waterways, that we should have street sweepers up there taking the edge
Do
of
we
the
even
stuff.
own a street sweeper?
We don't, but that may be something we should need to bring up. We've talked about it before, but maybe it's time we do that. And I think if you do it up and down the coast, it's going to help a lot of
I think we need
water
a street
quality
sweeper.
issues.
We have to act like a
But
city
DOT
sometimes.
will come out and clean that up if you let them know.
Yeah.
I'm
All
not
right,
saying
so-
you have to let them know, but
If it's
staff
the
will let
right of
'em know.
way, they'll do that.
But that's the right of way, so.
Having said that, to work cooperatively with Walmart to actually go out there and clean out this right-of-way here, which we've had trouble identifying, I'm going to make a motion to approve some debris and to get grappling trucks out there to help them get out there quicker and cleaner. I know it's a private company doing it, but,
Wait, what's the motion?
well, I want to be able to get grappling trucks out there to go pick up the trash they got out there. See, it's kind of like started out there already.
You mean Walmart is doing this?
Walmart's doing that. They can do more, and they're encouraged to do more, but if we say that we'll take out the vegetation that's there, they'll do even more than what they had planned. Now, I can work with them to bring it, but they're coming out there again Friday. So I don't think it's more than maybe 2 truckloads.
I can probably just have Public Works handle that.
Okay.
Yeah, you don't, it's no cost.
Okay.
Why don't you work on the Lowe's up here on Little and buy the Kentucky Fried Chicken and Taco Bell? It's so disgusting back there.
Working on all of them, Commissioner Starkey, but thank you. I want to give a little shout out for Kids Kicking High. They started their new building.
Good.
They're going from the retail center that they had over on Little Road, which might provide more office space, and now going to a facility that, surrounded by apartments, you'll see the pictures around it. There was tremendous vegetation. There was 2 homeless camps that were in there. They bought both parcels, and they've cleaned it out. They're going to go a little bit further. They're doing a phenomenal job back there. The apartments are excited they're coming in, and I think it's going to be a great facility coming up. So just to show you what they've done out there.
Where is that? Where is that?
It's by Embassy. It's near where our fire station is, right behind the gas station that's there. Now, there's some pictures of baffle boxes. We've heard me talk about it many times, and I had Colleen, my assistant, working on this to try to find projects that were done. And Titusville has done a project already. I think there's 9 that's there. There's 14 totally going to be done. And the pollutant loads that they're taking out are huge to the Gulf of Mexico, to the ocean there. But I think it's something we should go look at. And what I'd like to do is to have us work with, maybe bring the company in, Dan, that did the work over there. Let's start a conversation, Mike, and then kind of see what they think they can do for us, bring an agenda item back and see. I think it's something, we can look at doing something countywide.
Or along the coast?
Along the whole coast, yeah, along the whole coast, that's where the water goes. We can probably look to put that together, put a plan together. You got to study it before you can get it implemented, get funding for it. And at the same time, I'm going to work with the Tampa Bay Estuary Program to try to get them on board, because they pretty much say right now, all they want to do is take care of what goes into the bay. But our water flows south. It's going to go into the bay. So if we can set up what we're going to go do, I'm going to bring them to Regional Planning Council and the estuary, which I'm sitting on now, to kind of bring their idea to go forward, to kind of let them work on it. And we might have a huge project for Pot 2 money for the BP to go get this whole thing done and funded, and maybe the state jumps in strong with us as well.
I can see places all along Strawber and all along the coastline down there where those could be
Up and
very,
down.
very good.
And you take the pollution load out, which helps for your scalloping seasons and all the fish life and everything else, the water quality that's out there. And then at the same time, for your stormwater, for future dredging projects, when you control all the silt that would go in there with these chemicals, when you hold them out and you put a plan to keep it out, instead of having to go dredge to go get the silt out, now you're taking it out, whether it be biannually, annually, whatever it may be, you control it all instead of it going there.
Yeah, Commissioner, I've designed projects with these before.
Okay.
So I think, to a certain extent, we can put a plan together. It would be part of NPDES compliance issue anyway to address that. So we can put a plan together, get a cost estimate.
Yeah.
I'll say the biggest challenge is actually on the operating side, because if you don't clean them, you're not doing any good.
Exactly.
Right? So you got to have the funds on the operating side, which would, in this case, would be stormwater funds would do that. So we can put a plan together, come up with what a capital cost would look like, and then what the recurring maintenance would look like on something like that for you
Right.
to look at, and
Yeah.
and we could chase some grant sources, but it's also something we could probably do as part of the stormwater program anyway.
Yeah, and it's something that Stormwater Utilities, I think, paying for some of the maintenance on this down the road too, so great to look at that as well. And I'll say that from the last meeting we had at Leisure Beach, we had all the people that were a little frustrated about how long the dredging's taking, and those folks there, we're going to be setting up a committee. We're going to use the nonprofit just like the Council for Women have set up, and just like they did up in Citrus County with their plan for doing all the work they did up there, we're going to try to set it the same way, get the citizens involved, all the stakeholders up and down the coast, bring them all together, kind of like make this a harbors-type plan, all the way up and down, and setting up that committee. I'm meeting actually with Mike and Dan tomorrow, even Bob Gurry to actually look at doing the MSBU to kind of look at how do we get this thing rolling. So,
I think someone from your office is presenting at my Harbor South Leadership Council on the dredging program, so
Okay.
that all those from Gulf Harbor South can hear what's going on.
excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, the administrator.
Well, I think several of my items y'all took earlier as part of national awards or whatnot. That's okay. Just as Commissioner Oakley probably knows, Parks has now opened up the work there and the ability to do public recreation at Dave City Armory. They had an open house earlier in January, and so just as that was a project that's, I think Parks has been working on with them for over a year, and so we finally have that ability now. So just, that's all. We'll get the good news items out to you separate, so.
Excellent.
Okay, who's next? The attorney.
Members of the board, I got notice last night that there has been another settlement, a proposed settlement in the opioid litigation. Endo Health Solutions and Endo Pharmaceuticals, Inc. Briefly reviewing the document that outside counsel has sent us. The percentage is the same as the previous two or three settlements that you already authorized me to sign. So if the board would authorize me to, unless I find something in the documents that is inconsistent with everything else we've approved, I'll electronically sign those within the 30 days so that you get your next opioid dollars from.
Well, how much are we talking?
I have no idea. All I know is that it's 4.4% of whatever the big number is, which is the same percentage you got the last go-around.
Right. All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Madam Chair?
Would be opposed, yes.
Can we hear, I mean, for instance, last night I got a call from a citizen whose son was having some issues, mental health, needed to go in a drug treatment facility, and Alexander Alt from the Sheriff's Office was phenomenal. Pick up the phone, we got him some help, and that's being dealt with now. But I would like to see the first recommendations to what's going on with the program, where the money's going to go, to what they're actually making recommendations for, as quick as we can. I don't know to what point that's going to happen.
So were you talking about what the opioid task force has recommended? Or,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
what the programs are that this money will be spent on?
I want to see what the task force is recommending right off the bat.
Then that would be an administrator.
And I'm not looking for that tonight. You can maybe put a presentation ready and maybe come back to the next meeting,
So
just to kind of show
we are
us.
actually, Commissioners, Paula Baracaldo, Director of Support Services, here for Kathy Pearson. We're actually having our litigation assessment update on Monday, and then depending on that, then we'll start working on those recommendations. We do have a plan, but without knowing when we're getting that funding and how much funding we're getting, it's hard to kind of put a percentage across that. But that conversation will be starting definitely on Monday, and then our next meeting will be April 25th.
So when do you find out how much money are in these things?
The problem is that the way the Attorney General's office and outside counsel have structured these settlements, the first step is your buy-in that you're willing to settle. And so all of these that we've brought forward to you, the manufacturers, the distributors have not yet gotten to the end of their time clock to even say they're settling. You know, it's a proposed settlement.
Okay.
It's come to us so that they have to get critical mass of the number of affected local governments to say yes, and then you start hearing the dollars. Now, on this one, this is the first one that's come in like this. It says the proposed endo settlement is a lump sum payment of $65 million. That's nationally. That's
Oh.
not us. So you would get 4.4% of $65 million as a lump sum payment in this case.
Okay.
But they're all different.
Okay.
Okay, do the
And,
math.
We do
and the administrator is quickly doing the math.
So not to interrupt, but we do have a proposed
$2-3 million.
plan with community recommendations, and I can forward that to you. That's what we're starting to work with, and that's based off of the proposed settlement agreement that the state suggested. So we wanted to make sure that we align with that, but also we're looking at those potential programs at the local level, but those discussions haven't started yet. We're starting on Monday.
Okay. When we had done a cleanup down at Leisure Lane, down in Newport Richey by Gulf Harbors and the Southgate Mall, there were probably like 30 homeless people there. And Don Anderson was actually down there trying to talk to people. Sheriff's office was down there, code enforcement, trying to get these people help. Every single person there turned us down, all with their own different reasons, lack of trust, a lot of mental health issues.
Right.
So those are the people that are probably in the woods still, just moved on to a different neighborhood. It's going to be imperative, I think, we work to mental health, helping that, and looking at things. Marcy's got a plan coming up for a place up in Hudson that she's going to bring to us coming up. I think the Rope Center is a great place to kind of work with getting people back into it. And it was interesting, I was actually talking to getting my hair cut the other day, and I'm listening to a gentleman talking about the Rope Center, how it's helping him get his foot back on the ground. And I was living with 20 other guys, whatever. They had plans, by the way, to actually try to look at putting a facility in just for the women. Instead of having like 20 women in one open room, whatever. They could put 20 more guys in there. And if the women had another place to go, they could be on their own and be probably a little bit better situation for them. Probably a good thing to go look at, so
Yeah.
please
No,
keep all that in
absolutely.
mind. Thank you.
Absolutely.
And if you're not ready to bring it back because we don't have a plan yet, then don't feel to bring it back. Just as soon as you do get something coming forward, then bring that back.
Absolutely.
All right?
Yeah, we will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so we were on you. Anything else?
Thank you.
Okay, to the clerk?
Yes, ma'am, and commissioners, we've distributed the work plan for the anticipated work plan for the Inspector General's office that serves both our agency, our office, and the board. It includes follow-up routine things that they normally do every year, follow-up on items that were identified in previous, and another work plan. And this has been developed and other risk assessments, I should say. This has been distributed to the administrative staff for their review. It's provided to you for information. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact Clerk Alvarez-Soles as to any concerns or items that you would like to have more information on. Again, this is their work plan. However, as we all know, our work plans have been affected drastically over the last year, and you can see down below that things that were deferred because of both turnover in staff, illness, and other things. So that, but as part of their accreditation, they must establish this plan for the year, and they will be proceeding on that. The other two things that she would like to make everyone aware of, we have the big shred that the clerk's office is sponsoring. The county facilities management is assisting with traffic control on this site coming up this Saturday, between 10 and 12 a.m. Last year, there was 442 cars went through and generated 10 tons of shredded items. That will be, again, held this Saturday, and the following Saturday on February the 5th, it'll be in Dade City, where last year it generated 129 cars and 3 tons. We're looking for a bigger turnout over there. So we're very hopeful that those will be successful items, and that's all we have at this time.
Thank you so much. Okay, it's to me. So first, I would say thank you to all the board members for going up to Tallahassee. I don't recall if all 5 of us went last year, but I don't think so. I think it's been a while since we had all 5.
Yeah, we didn't go as a group last year.
Yeah, I was up there, but not, that was odd last year. You had to go in and then back out. So just thank you all for taking the time. And I thought it was a very successful trip, and to our staff that also went. And I do want to thank our legislators for meeting with us. I thought we had a great meeting with Wilton, and I feel confident that all of our asks are going to, that we're going to be successful this year. And then we had a conversation, I'll just let the other staff know, with Wilton about may be searching for some funds for help with the overpasses on the Sun Coast. When they designed the Sun Coast, they didn't have that trail in mind. This is what I was told. And so they didn't anticipate that, so it wasn't built in and planned in our area. And so the citizens of Pasco County are ending up right now funding our pedestrian overpasses of 54 and 52, but Hernando has one that's funded by the Turnpike Authority. Citrus, if you drove up the Sun Coast like I did, they have a beautiful one coming across. So I think Senator Simpson said he was going to be helping us, and we have a plan that we're going to push forward this year to hopefully alleviate that cost to our citizens and be able to move that money to other projects. So I'm real excited about that. We started talking about this subject, so I'm going to pass these out to you guys. These are, again, and thank you, Johanna, for all your work on this. This is the newest and greatest, what are we calling it? I don't have a copy. Oh, thank you. So the Pasco County Social Services Resource Guide. This is one that my staff just printed. Johanna, we're out to a printer yet for these? Okay. And Fasano does printing for us. That's who's printing for us. Great. So I can tell you that I had the uglier white ones in my car, and I have handed these to people, and at least 4 or 5 of them have received services from the county, homeless people. Last week, I was in the Home Depot in Holiday, and there was a young man and his girlfriend asking the clerk there where he could buy a tent, because he and his family, they were going to go move into Starkey Wilderness Park because he had lost his place to live. He had a job. He kept telling me, I have a job, I just can't afford my rent. So we're moving into the park. And I said, wait a minute, we have resources. And the girlfriend had actually gone online and tried to find something but couldn't. She said it said online, and I don't know where she went, that we don't have any money. But in fact, we have money, it's just we don't have places to put people. And so I'm very happy with Marcy's project. But I would love for you, when this is done, to get the PDFs of this, to carry these in your car. When you go to speak to different associations or groups or rotaries, let everyone know, when you see people handing money at an intersection, you're just perpetuating that problem. But if you hand them something like this, they actually have a solution. And I really think we can help a lot of people when we give knowledge to them that they can call and we can help them. And frankly, the ones who don't want help, I don't think they should be Pasco residents. That's my view on that. You heard this morning a little bit about the German Consulate General. And if you don't know what the Consulate General is, that is the diplomatic representative from the country of Germany who's in charge of Florida. And he lives in Miami, but he's come up here a few times. I cannot remember his name right now. But we have extended to him an invitation. He's come, so he will be at our board meeting in February. And so it's at that time that I'll talk a little bit more about the trip, because I didn't want to do it twice. And so we'll have a little discussion, Christina, at that meeting, and we will thank the German Consulate General for visiting us. And I think that is it for me. So I think we're all done. All right, we're adjourned. Here. Yeah, we're adjourned. We don't have to have a motion. Well, we can have a motion for adjournment. You don't have a second.
No, it's not necessary.
I said we're adjourned. I can do Moore's thing.
I just repeating it.